I'm Adam MacKay, the UK's first EXP brokerage, and I'm here with the legends Roger Black and Steve Backley.
Thanks, Sam.
We're here to talk today about how you think the Olympic mindset is similar to the estate agents.
Yeah, well, we think it is. We think it is. I mean, we learn as athletes. I mean, we lived in a world where you were judged on only one thing: performance. You know, can you perform when it matters? The Olympics, the World Championships. It was ruthless. It was ruthless. Okay, business is slightly different. You get another chance every day, really. But we think there are parallels. There are some differences and parallels. And I think the big one with someone who makes the decision to go from employment into actually self-employment with the EXP model, or bringing their whole brokerage over, so then their team have a different mindset on how to make this work, it comes down to, I guess you call it the growth mindset. It's people who are always looking to do things differently, looking to change, not complacent. Even the best athletes in the world, not even the best athletes in the world, lots of things in common, but they're never complacent. Always looking for little changes to do something better. And I think that is a constant mindset, whether it's in sport or whether it's in estate agency.
Yeah, I agree. And weirdly, if you'd have asked me that question 20 years ago when I retired, I'd have said, well, no, how can it be the same? Come on, that's just silly. To say an estate agent is the same as an athlete, what are you talking about? I would have, and I studied sports science, and part of that was psychology of performance. So I sit here now 20 years on, and I see it as exactly the same.
Really?
In what Roger just said about growth mindset, looking at everything you do on a day-to-day basis, thinking how you can do it better. Of course, you've got to have that hunger, drive, creative, accepting and driving change. The big one for me is probably clarity, though. I think clarity is a really simple word to say, but it's really hard to continue to have clarity and be on the job. I always think of the analogy of someone swimming with their head down, and they pop up for air and think, oh, I've gone the wrong way, and then go the right way again. And that's kind of how a business or an individual goes along, isn't it? It's hard to know where the environment is, where legislation, maybe your own dynamics, personal issues, energy level. There's so many factors at play. We can't have entire clarity in our heart and our head and what we do all the time. It's almost impossible. So we do a lot of work on that. We love that piece of it. So
it's interesting you say that, because I do think a lot of agents who are hitting a crossroads, and estate agent owners in the UK, I think it's because they haven't got clarity. Yeah. I think they got used to doing a reactive role when a business is very reactive, and their staff don't know what to do on a daily basis. They come in and they haven't got a plan. But what I've found is, having a plan and having clarity on where you want to go to can empower everyone.
Yeah. And the world is imperfect. Yeah. As an athlete, you learn very quickly that the world is, we are destined to fail and learn and adapt. Try, fail, learn, adapt. Yeah. You're a golfer, right? If you go on the course thinking you're going to hit down the middle every time, you're in trouble, right?
Always doesn't do that,
the ultimate optimists are in trouble because they don't survive. It's better than being a pessimist, but being a realist is the glass is half full and half empty.
Yeah.
Big one for me with EXP and the similarities with being an athlete is collaboration. Yeah. Teamwork, collaboration.
That's why we sit together, right?
Yeah, that's why we sit together. There's a lovely saying in the world of sport, is that if you want to run fast, run alone. If you want to run far, then run together. Right. No one stands on the Olympic rostrum alone. You've always got a team, people on the journey with you. And I think the culture at EXP is a culture of collaboration. You can collaborate actually with over 100,000 people all around the world if you want to. But you can certainly collaborate and connect with all the agents in the UK, whereas we sit here today is about 550 or whatever, and just growing every week. And that recognition that I can be better by standing on the shoulder of giants, we've all got something to share, and we can all learn from each other, and we're not competing. Yeah. And we've been in the estate agency world for the last few years, and also been in it buying and selling houses ourselves. And there tends to be on the high street quite a culture of competition, and it's quite refreshing to be around EXP agents because you feel a culture of collaboration. I think that's a very common trait in sport.
Yeah, I can see that. Obviously I've joined EXP earlier this year, and straight away is a huge sharing community, which I think is fantastic.
Well, we wouldn't be here, would we?
That's the start of it. Yeah, that's true. So look, lots of parallels, lots of similarities. And we just love, helping people, sharing people, meeting people like yourself, and been on this really exciting EXP journey, which the three of us are all involved in different ways, but really loving it.
Why don't you share quickly how you are involved and how you are helping these agents?
So in the first instance, we are involved in the onboarding. That critical point when somebody's taken the step, and I think sometimes it's maybe the most vulnerable part, but maybe it's a bit like after that, I don't know. But that first bit where you kind of jump in, and you're looking for the parachute to open. We reassure, talk about mindset, talk about the fact that your chosen mindset is probably the most important one, and that it is a choice. And then we go through a bit of a structure. We share a performance model that we've developed over the last 15
and the relevance
years.
to that is when we first met Adam Day, who heads up EXP in the UK, I remember asking Adam a question, and the question was very simple. I said, what is it? What are the characteristics? What are the things that, if you're going to be successful as an EXP agent, what do you have to have? And he said, if you boil it down, there are two things you have to do. Or he said, all the successful agents do lots of stuff, but there are two things they do that others maybe don't. Okay? Firstly, they follow the system. They do the stuff. It's like the athlete. You just got to do the warming up, the training. You've got to enjoy it. And you know that the day-to-day stuff of being an estate agent, you can't ignore that.
You've got to do it.
And you've got to want to do it, and you've got to value that. And it was the same as an athlete. The second thing, he said, very simple, you've got to have the right mindset. He said, and mindset will always overcome anything else. And that's where that's why we're ambassadors for EXP. That's how it came about. Our space is mindset. So the way we help people is based around any performance journey, whatever it may be, whether it's trying to win Olympic medals, whether it's trying to be hugely successful as an estate agent. If you boil it down, there are only three parts to it. One, you have to have knowledge. You have to know how to be an agent. But knowledge without application, nothing's going to happen. So you've got to have skill. You've got to do it. You've got to do the stuff. And the third piece where we sit is the mindset. Yeah. And we experience this as athletes because at the Olympic Games, everybody is really talented. Now, everyone's super talented. Now, some might be even more talented, but by definition, if it was that simple, then we know who the medals are going to go to. But we know it doesn't go like that.
We don't.
So it cannot be talent alone. Everyone trains hard. No one doesn't train hard. So the differential just may be the mindset. And we think that translates into
and quite often when things aren't going well. A lot of our stories are around injury and coming back from problems and challenges, because then that's when we get found out, right?
Obviously mindset, I always look at my business and my golfing background, and you think like Tiger Woods, he'd won before he'd even teed off, hadn't he? Because he just gave that aura and he had that mindset and he believed he could win. And I think I've come across agents over the years who have the mindset but don't have the skill, but they can still win. They might not have the knowledge or skill. They're young agents, but because they've got the mindset.
The message is, of course, that is a decision, not a gift. And we can create that mindset.
And there is a step just before that as well. I think is the really powerful one, and it's what we love about being around EXP. I mean, we met you at the Christmas Awards when you've got hundreds of people in the room, and I love it, especially at the reception before, and you're chatting to people, and I always say, so what's your story? And you hear different stories from different people. Why did you make this decision to join EXP? Because your decision is going to be very different to another person. Okay, and what they all have in common is there was a reason. It was a powerful reason, and it was their why. It was there. For some, that's family, that's work-life balance. For some, that's money. Whatever, it doesn't actually matter what it is. But if you have that compelling why, and that burns inside of you, you will get out of bed in the morning.
Own that reason.
And once you've got that, then all the other stuff, all the mindset, the work, all the stuff that's there for you to take if you want it through EXP, that will happen. If you haven't got that and you're just doing it because I don't know what else I want to do with my life, the chances are you're not going to thrive. And that's very similar in sport.
I can see that. Well, thanks for those insights. That's great.
No problem.